The subways operate from 5:30 a.m. to midnight, reportedly on Fridays and Saturdays until 2 a.m., with stops every 3 minutes in rush hour and 5 to 10 minutes in non-rush hours. Tickets can be bought at every station, and only there, not in kiosks and etc. Unlike bus tickets, there are selling counters and automatic machines, but the machines require change in coins. A 7-day ticket costs €10 and gives you unlimited travel for all public transport for 7 days. Validate only once at the beginning. I have a wonderful story to tell about the monument of Lycocrates. Going up the hill towards the Acropolis, you will see it. It turns out that Lycocrates was a very wealthy citizen of ancient Athens who sponsored many theatrical performances in the theater of Dionysus, a common practice by the rich people at that time. Well, in 344 BC, one of the performances he had sponsored was awarded first prize, and Lycocrates received the honors, and in memory of this honor, he financed and built this monument. That, however, was only the beginning of the monument's long history. Centuries later, in 1658, a Capuchin monastery was founded on the site by French monks, and in 1669 they bought the monuments from the Turks who ruled Greece at that time. And in 1818, Friar Francis planted in its gardens the first tomato plants in Greece. In 1829, the monks gave the structure to a foreign traveler, but it proved to be too heavy for him to take away. And later, Lord Elgin, after stealing the beautiful marble sculptures from the Parthenon, wanted to do the same with the Lycocrates monument. Fortunately, the monks had wised up by that time and stopped him. The new Acropolis Museum is open Tuesday through Sunday from 8 in the morning until 8 at night. On the first level, through a glass floor, visitors have close-ups of a 1,000-year-old Christian settlement discovered during excavations in 2002. And the second floor features a rich trove of freestanding antiquities. But the third and top floor features a glassy gallery with a great view of the Acropolis. It's rotated 23 degrees off the axis of the lower floors, making it parallel to the Parthenon itself. This glass enclosure feels dramatically different from the rest of the museum. It displays what remains in Greece of the original Parthenon sculptures and frieze, alongside plaster casts of the works which are in London. The contrast between the glaring whiteness of the copies and the ancient honey-colored marble makes for a powerful and calculated statement, because Greece has only 36 of the original 115 panels from the Parthenon frieze. It depicts a procession in honor of the goddess Athena. 200 years ago, Lord Elgin chiseled off the sculptures with permission from Greece's Ottoman rulers. That legality, however, has been challenged by Greece, lobbying for their return. Hadrian, Emperor of Rome, erected his arch to mark the edge of the classical city of Athens in the beginning of his own city. On one side is inscribed, "This is Athens, the ancient city of Theseus." And on the other side is the city of Hadrian, not of Theseus. Since there are few obvious signs of a Roman city, this makes a little sense to today's visitor. But Roman remains south of the temple Zeus, and recent excavations suggest that the Roman city was in that area. If I recall correctly, Zeus was sort of a god-in-chief. And the building of the temple Zeus began in the 6th century BC, and it wasn't completed until the Emperor Hadrian completed it in 131 AD, 700 years later. Originally there were 104 columns, of which only 15 remain. One of the columns blew down in a storm in 1852. Hadrian had erected a giant gold and ivory statue of Zeus inside the temple, with an equally large one of himself next to it. Nothing remains of these statues. It is not known when the temple of Zeus was destroyed, but it probably came down in an earthquake during the medieval period. Like other ancient buildings, much of it was taken away for building materials. Appreciating the temple of Zeus requires a great deal of imagination and patience. While it may not seem like much at first, being that so few columns remain, when you get closer to the ruins and see how massive the existing columns are, you have a better idea of how massive the temple would have been. During its heyday, it was larger than the Parthenon, which can be seen as a reminder on top of the Acropolis in the distance from the Temple of Zeus. There are usually only a handful of tourists visiting this site, so in most cases you will have the place to yourself. It serves as a peaceful supplement to the Acropolis grandeur and crowds. The Temple of Zeus has the same seasonal hours as the Acropolis and is included in the admission price. It's about a 15-minute walk from the south slope of the Acropolis, so no need to take a taxi.